Hello there. We're going to talk about some of our favourite brands of watches on Ideal World. I'm joined by our head watch buyer, Maria. Lovely, lovely to meet you. It's really weird being in front of the camera.
I know.
We're normally having a bit of a gossip over your desk, aren't we?
Yeah, normally it's, yeah. Quick catch up before the shows.
Yes.
But yeah, it's nice to be here.
It's great. Well, I would say, look, we love all of our brands, but I was just going to talk about a few right now. So I want to start with Accurist because, this is a brand that we all grew up with, isn't it?
Yeah. I think most people you speak to will have either at least heard of Accurist, if not owned an Accurist at some point in their life, or their dad or their granddad would have had probably that brand as their first watch. So yeah, it's a real nice heritage brand to have in our portfolio.
And a British brand,
Yeah,
for all
absolutely.
of those years, 76 years, I want to say. Now, you've got to be a certain age, and we're far too young to remember, but apparently there's something called the speaking clock.
I think I've heard that once or twice.
I think I dialed the speaking clock many times. Actually, you
Me
dialed
too.
1, 2, 3, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was honestly, it was like a big event in those days because there's no way of knowing the time because nobody had smartphones and things like that. So you dial 1, 2, 3, you'd listen to the speaking clock, and it always said at the end, sponsored by Accurist for many years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think somebody at my old place of work got into trouble because they dialed it too much and got a big phone bill. Yeah.
It was like one of the most exciting things to do in those days. It really was. But they also, I was reading, they actually also sponsored the Millennium Clock, didn't they, at the Royal Observatory?
Yes, they did. Yeah,
and that's
they did.
a big responsibility. You couldn't get that one wrong,
exactly.
Could you?
Everybody was waiting for the countdown of the Millennium, so it was a big, I guess, honour for them to have that, prestige, and it's something that they can, talk about for, the next years to come. It's a real
we all thought the world was going to end, didn't we?
We did.
Do you remember all those rumours about when it turned midnight? And
computers were going to crash.
Yes.
But no, we survived.
We certainly did. Although, it's a long story, but I was actually locked on a balcony at Sirius on holiday, and the balcony door locked on me, and I was by myself, and my partner was stuck inside being ill, seriously. No, I'm not joking, that's a different story. Right, let's talk about watches. So, now we've also got an Abeo, a very interesting brand, don't you think?
Yeah, that's probably been with us about 3 years in Abeo, and it's all about the outer space and then under the sea. So they use, some of the colours. They're quite famous for their oversized cases and really sort of different colourways and materials that they use in their watches.
Bold and
they're a real statement watch.
You've got to have a look online because Abeo, I think they're wonderful timepiece, but really striking and really durable, we should say as well.
Yes, and we've got some new Abeo lines coming up later on in the week.
Great.
Some real different pieces.
Now, for the ladies again, we have got Seksy by Seconda.
Yes, so that's on tonight. Great price points on that. Most of the watches are under £70, so something that's really affordable. Again, lots of glitter, lots of stone detail, two-tone metal, a really nice, pretty rose gold watch. So yeah, we're trying to increase the amount of watches we have at Ideal World for the ladies. Yeah. So there's some real.
The Seksy ones are lovely. They're really affordable for what you get and how beautiful they look. They're really affordable.
Entry price point tonight's £20.
What do you get for £20 now?
Not a lot these days.
You get to the supermarket, you get 2 things in your basket, and you're paying more than £20. But Seksy, very glamorous, very stylish. Now, I really like the Cordola range. Mm-hmm. They've got a real kind of like retro and vintage look from 1970s.
Yeah, a real 1970s look for Cordola. And also what I really like about that range is their links with Cosworth. So if you could be a watch fan but also a racing car fan, you will have heard of Cosworth engines.
Cosworth, I was reading actually, they've been the engine supplier for 176 Formula One wins.
Yeah, and
they make good engines, don't they?
Oh God, absolutely. And the team from Cordola, they go up to the Cosworth factory, and you can see all the old engines and parts, and they actually take parts of old Cosworth engines and then engineer them into the watches.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you remember the first Cordola watch we did? We had the racing car helmet.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, which was part of the collection. So and there's lots of limited editions, and sort of their colour scheme is influenced by, the racing cars. So there was blues, the red, the greens. So real retro-inspired range.
It just makes you realise, when I grew up, God, it was watches were so dull and you used to only own one watch, whereas now the selection, the choices, the styles of brands, it's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Shaun, some of our biggest watch collectors out there, they've got over 300-400 watches. I'm sure they don't admit that to their partners, but they do have quite a big collection of watches.
I'm going to call him Dave L. Dave L, that's it. He's
one of our big collectors.
Over, I think it's about 350 watches.
Yeah, yeah. It's great. It is great because
I've got about 80.
That's good.
I know.
Well done, you.
Nothing like Dave L, but yeah, about 80. Yeah, I love it.
But I think as well, when I'm buying or looking at the range of watches that all the different brands bring me, I'm always thinking about those big collectors out there and think, would Dave like that in his collection? I wonder if he's got that, making sure he's giving them a reason to buy and something different in their collection. Yeah. So whether it's a limited edition, a gift with purchase, or
rare, you like your rare movements as well.
Yeah, definitely. Any Swiss rare movements, so the Val Jules, the Ettas, I know that definitely ticks their box for them.
So we've got time to mention one more brand, I think. Go on, your choice, Maria. Just got to be careful here.
Oh God, it's like having to choose my favourite child.
You've already got one, so you're
I've only got one. I've got one. Yeah, I would have to say. I think it'd have to be Vostok Europe. Yeah. I think probably because I've been working with that brand since day one, since I've been here, which is 7 years. And I think sometimes when you're working with a brand who, have quite a long history, they're always pushing their boundaries. They're always thinking of different stories and events in the world to be inspired by. They're always pushing the boundaries with their movements, even just the look of their watches, and they always come up with really unusual but commercial and unique colourways. So they'll mix turquoise with brown, even the details on their leather straps. Yeah. And the backs of their watches are also as nice as the front of their watches as well. Again, all limited edition.
They're so well engineered as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't tell you this, but I've dropped a few watches in my time because it shows quite a bit.
So have I, Shaun.
Yeah,
so
I bet you have. Yeah, but honestly, I've never ever damaged a watch. I've never even seen a Vostok that's anything from perfect. They're very well engineered, aren't
and
they?
just the materials. I mean, obviously they use stainless steel, but they use jeweler's bronze, they use titanium. So just always pushing the boundary. So sorry, other brands. I love you all dearly, but I think Vostok Europe would have to be my number one.
Well, thank you, Maria. All of our brands on our website and our social media, so do have a look.